Right. Now we are going to see about model definition, how to create the model, and inside the model we need to implement the function that we can implement using behavioral, data flow, or structural, okay, or mixed of all these that we are going to see in this session. So before that, hierarchy design. So the design engineer should classify or divide the given logic aspect into submodules, and the submodules we need to classify or divide into basic module. Then we need to implement the basic module first, and using the basic module we can implement the submodules. Using the submodules we can implement the top level module. This is the flow we need to follow. So the advantage of this is, if we implement a basic module, wherever we need this basic module, we can access, we can instantiate that inside the submodule. If I want this one, module 1 in module 2, we can just instantiate it and we can use it. The reusability is increased. To understand this concept, the module instantiation and how we need to map the ports signals. To understand that, we are taking a simple example, implementing a full adder using half adders. This is the module definition. So assume that this is the design. So in 1, in 2, in n, all are inputs, and out 1, out 2, out m, these are outputs. Okay. To implement this is a template module. It's a keyword module name. You can give any name here. Then within this bracket, we need to mention the ports. What are all the inputs and outputs that we are using? Everything we need to mention here. And end module. Inside this module and end module, first we need to declare what are all the ports are inputs and what are all the ports are outputs. The help of output and input keyword. Then if we are using any intermediate connections, that we can declare as a wire, and functional description, a combination or sequential, that we can implement in any type of modeling. So we need to put everything inside module and end module. Exception is compiler directives. So compiler directives we will discuss later. So we'll start with tick. Okay. So the compiler directive you should mention above the module, not inside the module. Then half adder we are implementing. By using this half adder, we are going to implement the full adder. So this is the half adder logic diagram. The module name is half adder. Here we are using ports S, C, A, B. Okay, that we mentioned here. You should use semicolon at each end of the line with an end module. Then we need to declare what are all the inputs and what are all the outputs. Outputs are S, C. As this is for sum, this is used for carry. Then inputs A, B that we declare. Default input and outputs are wire. If you want explicitly declare that as Y, we can implement this as wire. Assign. This is a data flow modeling. Okay. The help of data flow modeling. Assign S equal to nothing but sum equal to A XOR B. And carry is nothing but A and B that we implemented here. Now we implemented the half adder. Now with the help of this half adder, we are going to implement the full adder. So this is the full adder cycle. We are implementing the help of two half adders. So actually there is 3 inputs, in 1, in 2 and C in. For a full adder, 3 inputs and outputs are sum and carry out is nothing but C out here. The first half adder we are giving two inputs, in1 and in2. The output sum and carry. Sum is given as an input for the next half adder, and the third input Cin is given as another input of this half adder, and sum we are getting here. And for carry, first half adder carry and second half adder carry we are taking, and with the help of OR gate we are taking Cout. You should know this one, how to implement full adder with the help of two half adder. Then now we are going to write the code to implement this full adder using half adder. Module name is full adder, and the ports we are using are sum, Cout, and in1 into Cin that we mentioned here. Then we need to declare the outputs and inputs. Output of sum and Cout. Inputs in1 into Cin. These are inputs. If you need, you can explicitly declare this output and input as wire, else no need. Default by default all are wire only. This intermediate connection, to see this A, B, S, C are the internal signals of the half adder. S, C, A, B. Okay. So this I1, I2, I3. These are intermediate connections. You connect this port sum to this port A of this half adder. This I2 that connects this C to this AND gate input, OR gate input. Okay. So here this C is connected to this OR gate input. So these are acting as an intermediate connection that we should declare as wire I1, I2, I3. Now I'm calling the half adder. Already I implement the half adder here. So this how I need to call means with the help of this module name. Half adder is nothing but module name half adder. Instance name you can give any name. Just two times I am going to use the same half adder. To differentiate that, we need to use different instance name. So HA1 I mentioned as instance name of this half adder. So here we need to pass these signals in the same order how we mentioned here. First one is S, C, A, B. Okay. So what is S here? I1. So I1, C is nothing but I2 swapped here. Then in1, AB. Okay. A, B. A is nothing but in1 and B is nothing but in2. Actually, these are the inputs we are giving for the full adder. So that we are passing to the half adder. We are receiving the sum and carry as a I1 and I2. Then this I1 is given as an input for the next half adder. The same half adder I am declared here. I am instantiating as a HA2 inputs A, or it is input in A here and B inputs. So here input is nothing but I1. The I1 I am getting here as output, that I am giving as a input here. This one. For B, Cin we are giving Cin. Then sum and carry. This is sum, and this is the output. I3 is the carry output of this second instance half adder. So I3 we are mentioning. Then for getting this C out, we are taking this I2 and I3 and we are doing OR. So that we can implement using data from modeling here. Assign C out equal to I1 is the OR operator, I3. So you will see how to implement this in the EDA playground. The first thing, run this. So first we need to implement half adder. module name, then port list, then port declarations, then assign. With the help of data flow modeling, we implement the logic. Then using this half adder, I implement the full adder. This you can use a separate file, or you can write in a same file. If you use a separate file, in this file you need to include before this full adder. Then only the full adder will recognize this module. Then module full adder, these are the port list, then we declared. Then intermediate connections we declared as wire. Okay, then two times we instantiated half adder and we implement the concept. Okay, and then this can see out. So in this way we can implement I1 or I3 assign C out. This is the one way. And if you want to use gate level modeling, you can use or get are available as the predefined primitives. This is instance name, you can give any name here, or instance name. First one is output followed by inputs. We will see the different types of modeling separately. So now declarator is implemented. To verify this, we need to write the test bench. So in test bench, what are all we declared as the output, that should be declared as a wire. Then what are all we declared as a input, that should be declared as reach. Because here in test bench we are storing that value and we are forcing to the design as a input. So we need to declare the inputs, whatever we are declared as an input here, that should be declared as reach. Then here, from here, the output, sum and carry, from here it is sent as an input to the test bench TB. So those things we need to declare as wire. Output need to declare as wire, and then input we should declare as reach, test bench. Then we need to instantiate the module name, design, full adder. So you can give any instance name here. Then we need to map the signals. Here in test bench, we are going to generate the inputs in 1, in 2, and C in. That we are going to pass, and we are going to get the sum and carry. So the same position, here I use the same variables in 1, into C in, and sum C out. So here I mentioned this order, sum C out, in 1, in 2, and C in. The same way you can mention. To change the order, we need to connect with dot. That I will explain with another example. Then here within this initial block, this dollar monitor, this is system task, is continuously monitor the signals. That's a difference between dollar monitor and dollar display. Dollar display happens only once. It will print the value only once. And use dollar monitor, it will continuously monitor the signals. Whenever there is a change happens in the signals, here we are changing the values in the particular time interval. So each time when you change the values, it will print the values in the log file. That's why I use dollar monitor here. Then here I am assigning the value with the help of concatenation. So this 3-bit 000 is assigned for in1, in2, and cn. So this value will be assigned for this in is 0, in2 is 0, cin value is 1. So this is the way you can mention the delay. So after each 10 time units, I am assigning different values for inputs. Then this one is used within the another initial block. I give this command. This command is used to dump the BCD file to get the waveform. You need to give this command, and then before run you need to enable this one. Open EP waveform after run. If you run, automatically the waveform window will enable. You can see the inputs. In1 into C you are giving as input, C out and sum you are getting as an output. The corresponding input and output I am getting in the log file with the help of this $monitor. You can check for 0 0 0 sum is 0, carry is 0. For this combination sum is 1, carry is 0. This combination 10, carry is 1 and sum is 0. This combination 1 1 1 will get 1 1, so sum is 1, carry is 1. For this combination we will get 1 0, so carry is 1, sum is 0. Then if you want to access a particular signal in a particular instance, so you have to call by using this hierarchy. HA2 is nothing but the second half adder instance name. I want to access the signal of A signal which is present in the second instance of half adder, means through this instance name. Okay, this instance name only you should access. Do that like this. You should not use the model name. Then port assignment. This one we discussed in the test bench. This is nothing but the design model. The outside is nothing but the test bench. Okay, input, actually the ports are three types: input, output and in-out. This is bidirectional, these are unidirectional. So model, inside the model, if you use net is nothing but a wire. If you use wire to declare a variable as wire, that should be declared as rich in the test bench. If it is a bidirectional in-out, both in RTL design and as well as in test bench, it should be a wire. If we declare a variable as output inside the module, so if you use behavioral modeling, you should declare output as rich. So that we are going to see next. When we use the data flow or gate level, default the output is wire net. So in these cases, the output should be declared as net or wire in the test bench. So things you should remember, whatever you are declaring as an input in the design, that should be declared as a rich in the test bench. An output in the design should be declared as wire in the test bench. If it is an in-out variable, both in the test bench and design, you should declare as a wire. Now we are going to see data flow modeling. Here we are using continuous assignment, nothing but assign. So this is general syntax: assign this output variable equal to expression. This is way you can mention the delay in the data flow modeling. With this option one, if you want, you can mention delay in this position with the help of this hash. And this output variable should be a net, nothing but wire data type. By default, if you declare this as output, that is wire. If you want, you can explicitly declare the output as wire, and you use this continuous assignment. Where to write them? Where to write this one? You should write inside the model, okay, and outside the procedures. Outside the procedures is nothing but initial or always block. So you should not mention this assign statement inside the always block or initial block. That should be outside the procedure block. Then properties of this, they are execute in parallel. If we are mentioning multiple assign statements. There is one and another statement with the help of same assign. So all are running in parallel and they are order independent. They are continuously active. Continuous assignment means whenever there is a change happens, the output will be automatically active. So if you mention more assign statement, everything happen parallelly. Important thing, you should not put this assign inside the procedural block. That's nothing but initial and non-initial. The next type of modeling is structural modeling. So structural modeling consists of gate level model and switch level. Okay, switch level in the sense uh, basic mass like NMOS, PMOS, okay, EMOS, all that are available in switch level modeling. They all that gates, I mean the switches, okay, are available by default as a predefined primitives. With the help of that, we can implement the logic. The design requires that type of modeling we can use. That is the lowest level of abstraction. The another one is gate level modeling. In gate level modeling, all the gates, these gates are available as a predefined primitives and NAND, NOR, OR, XOR, XNOR, buff, NOT, buff if 0, buff if 1, not if 0, not if 1. This buff if 0 and buff if 1, here we have a control bit. Then usage, how to use these gates. So in this way, we need to declare. NAND, I want to use, I need to perform NAND operation. NAND, and within this bracket, first one is the output. Always first one is the output, followed by the inputs. Here we are going to implement two input NAND. So in1 and in2 are inputs. So this in the next example, I'm going to perform and I am mentioning the delay. So the input values are assigned to the output after 2 time minutes. So if I want to mention any delay, you need to mention this position and delay, then output comma inputs. This is a 3 input AND gate. So you can give any number of inputs. Output is you have only one output that you should mention first. Then not as one n out comma input. This to perform to implement NOT gate, not with delay. This is the instance name. Nothing but this instance name, you can give any name here. The advantage is if you are using more number of NOT gates, to differentiate that, we are using this instance name. It is optional. If you use many number of gates, use instance name so that we can, if you want to access a particular gate with the help of instance, we can access. Then XOR X1 out comma in1 comma in2. So to implement XOR gate, we can write like this. Write them inside module, outside procedures. So this structural model, the functionality, you should write inside the module, okay, and it should be outside the procedures. It's nothing but outside the initial or always block. The same way as like data flow modeling. So assign that should be mentioned outside the procedures. In the same way for structural gate level implementation also, you should write outside the procedures. That should not write inside the always or initial block. The half adder which we implement using data flow, here we are implementing the help of gate level. The module name is a port list, then port declaration, then we declare the outputs and inputs as wire. Okay, here we are implementing. First we need to implement this XOR. So XOR is available. So if I want to include any delay, you can mention. First one is sum output, then followed by inputs A comma B. Then this one AND gate and as one. output C, comma A, comma B, then end model. Now we are going to see about behavioral model. So behavioral model, we are following procedures. Procedure is nothing but step-by-step execution. It will execute sequentially one by one. So the procedural statement inside the procedures execute sequentially. For example, assume that this is written inside the procedural block. It's nothing but initial or always block. So if you use multiple lines inside the always or initial, you should use this begin and end. If you mention like this, it will execute step by step as like procedure. So that's why it is called as a procedural blocks. If it will check if selection line is 0 means it will take B as output y. Else if it is false, it goes to the else statement and output y nothing but A. So here an important thing is the output variable should be declared as rich. And you use this behavioral modeling or procedural block, the output variable should be declared as rich. The module can contain any number of procedures, any number of initial or always block you can use inside the module. Procedural execute in parallel in respect to each other. Okay. So if we have multiple initial or always block, all are start at 0 time. Parallelly, each block will execute. Inside each block, the operation will happen in sequential way. So procedural block, we can represent two types. One is initial, another one is always. Initial, it will execute only once. Always, it will execute as like a forever. Content simulation finish, it will execute as in a looping fashion. First, we'll see the initial block. Okay, start execute at the simulation time 0 and finished when their last statement executes. This is a simple example. Model name, end model. Within that, I am using two procedural blocks. Here we have one initial block. Here we have another initial block. If you use more number of lines inside the initial block, you should use begin and end. Both start at same time. It will display. Here I use some delay. That's why it will display first. I am first will display first, and then after 50 time units, you will get I am second display in the log. In always block, start execution at 0 time, and it will continue to run until simulation finishes. Yeah, I assume that inside the model, I implement three procedural blocks, mean always block. So all these three always blocks start at 0 time, and all are run parallel. But inside this procedural block, every statement will execute in sequential way. To control this, okay, always it is happening continuously as like looping, right? We can able to control that with the help of the events. So at is nothing but it is used to sense the edges. Always at within this bracket, this is called sensitivity list. Within this sensitivity list, we need to mention the signals. If I mention signal 1 or signal 2 or any signals, okay, whenever there is a change happen in signal 1 or signal 2 or any signals which we mentioned here, that means when it changes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, that edge is recognized by this at symbol. Always at when this signal changes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, the following lines which we mentioned within this begin and let's go. Always at passage of clock begin and. So what this means, when clock changes from 0 to 1, passage happens. So this always clock, whatever we are mentioning within this begin will get executed. Here, always at negate clock. When clock changes from 1 to 0, it will trigger and the following lines will be executed. one small example. Now same half adder we are implement with the behavior using behavior model, and we are implementing a D flip flop using behavior model. So model name, port list, and port declarations. Here I told, right, if you are using behavioral modeling to implement the functionality, the output variable should be declared as rich. So sum and carry you should declare as rich here. Then always at A or B. Whenever A or B input value varies, changes, it will enter into this block. In this beginning, it will check sum equal to A XOR B and C carry equal to A and B. It will perform this operation. It will give the sum and carry values. Then D flip flop we are implementing here. In behavior modeling, it is the highest level of abstraction. If you know the behavior of a system, okay, you can directly implement. If you want to implement using gate level, you should know the logic diagram. If you want to implement using data flow, you should know the equation. Okay. If you know the behavior, directly you can implement using behavior modeling. And in Verilog, you can use the mixed level. You can also implement using behavioral, and here out of this else always block, you can use assign. Somewhere out of this procedural block, you can implement using gate level. The mixed level of programming is possible in Verilog. So here T flip flop, how it will behave? Whatever you are giving as a input D, that comes to output Q. That's the operation of D flip. So here we are mentioning D, Q, clock is input list, and Q is output, and D and clock are inputs. So here I am going to implement this inside the procedural block. I need to declare this output as rich. Q is output, that we should declare as rich, and always at passage of clock Q equal to D. Whatever you are giving as an input, that comes to output. Then even we can control this always block with the help of events. One is at. At is used to sense the edge changes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. Another one is wait. It is used to sense the level of the given expression or signal. Always begin wait control. Within this we are writing two statements, then wait. When this control becomes 1, until that it will wait. Always will happens, will run as a looping fashion, but here it is controlling wait until control become 1, it will not enter into these two statements. When control become 1, it will start this process. It is used to implement level trigger latches. Latches the level sensitive, right? Now we are going to implement this logic using Verilog code. So here we are performing and here C we are going to give as input for a NOT gate. Then here we have two flip flops. This clock we are giving, which is the positive edge trigger, and reset we are giving to each clock. Then Y and W are the outputs. To implement this, here it is this is a asynchronous reset. That means reset is not depending on clock. Whenever we are applying the reset, the output goes to its default state. When I apply reset, Y and W should be 0. And each passage of clock, it will sample the value whatever you are getting here, A and B. Each passage of clock, that value is assigned for Y. This not of C will assign for W at each passage of clock. So we are implementing this one always at reset or passage of clock in this beginning. Here I told reset is independent of clock, that is asynchronous reset. So if I mention reset here, instead of if I didn't mention this position, if I only mention passage of clock, means it is reset is nothing but synchronous reset. When passage of clock happens, then only it will enter into this lines, this block. So this reset, even though if it is 1, at passage of clock happens, then only it will perform the reset operation. This depending on clock. Now if I mention here as another signal, reset or passage of clock. When passage of clock happens, it will enter. When reset changes also, it will enter into this block. So it is independent of the clock. As soon as when you apply reset, automatically it will enter, and if reset is 1, it will make output as 0. Then else part, what based on the operation, y is nothing but a and b, and w is nothing but not of c. It will perform this operation. At each passage of clock, it will check this one and it will perform this operation. Then timing. So time we can mention with the help of this as symbol. So inside the procedural block, for example, initial, begin, end. Within that, I mentioned this line. It will execute in sequential way. As by c equal to 1, then as by b equal to 0, then as by d equal to c. How it will become means, first it will happen after 5. Assume that all are in the don't care condition or reset condition. So as 5, c equal to 1. As 5, c value becomes 1. This, whatever we are mentioning within beginning, will happen sequentially. After this line, it will move to the next line. Okay, now the time delay here already 5, here it is 5, so totally it will take 10 time units. At the time b value becomes 0. Then when this line encounters already 5, here it is 10, and after 5 is 15. After 15 time units, c value become, d value become 1. C value is nothing but 1, so that is assigned to d. So here it is becoming 1. We want to run all these line parallelly. We should use fork join. If you use fork and join, you can able to run all these lines concurrently. So if I mention as by delay, all happens at the same time. So at 5 time units, everything, all the signals assigned with the corresponding values. Yeah. The procedure statement that we will discuss later.